Before I start this video, I want to acknowledge and congratulate PlayStation in their 30 years in the gaming industry and providing good or even great gaming experiences from the 90s up until now. So, keep up the good work, PlayStation, and thank you for the memories. And also, I want to remind everyone to have a safe and blessed Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Environments. How's that make you feel, buddy?
Feel a little like your days are numbered?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
You're hurting my...
Athletic department, we were pretty excited about the launch of NFL Game Day 98, but we weren't the only ones.
What's up? This is Eddie George. Is Game Day ready yet? It's me again.
The Tri-Intelligent Cube, the painfully tough new brain twister. Get ready to think. Or die.
Hey, bam, bam, bam. No pause in between.
Come on, let's jam.
Check and turn the signals to the right.
Parappa the Rapper, a great new music video game. Once you've played it, you can't get it out of your head.
Sir, aren't these tests kind of easy?
Suicide mission.
Oh. Metal Gear Solid.
You don't hunt them. They hunt you. Dino Crisis, from the makers of Resident Evil.
The rock smells what you're cooking.
Pancakes, bro! Pancakes!
Lay the smackdown in the kitchen, the loading dock, even the boiler.
Love affair of the ages. An epic tale of a soldier and the free-spirited woman that captures his heart.
Play the Rugrats video game instead, with characters like Tommy, Chucky, even Angelica. Rugrats, search for Reptar. It's a 3D adventure, and it's only on PlayStation.
What good is the ultimate gaming system without the ultimate fighting game? Tekken for the Sony PlayStation, powered by Namco.
Pick up a six-pack!
Tekken 2.
He journeyed across enchanting worlds to rescue other dragons from the spells of Nasty Mork. After battling Nasty and his
Parasite.
You'll chase apes in a tank. You'll steer a remote control car. You'll even launch an aerial attack in a propeller-powered Skyflyer. But you better prepare yourself, because things can get pretty hairy. Apices.
The Undead.
Be Spider-Man. Swing from buildings. Shoot webs. Bring down the bad guys.
Play Silent Hill. He may never leave you alone again. For PlayStation from Konami.
Lies a story of ultimate conquest, a story of war and friendship, a story of a love that can never be.
And this one I got. Whoa, that was close. I got a headache, dude.
G Game Master 16. Welcome back, everyone. So glad you could make it. Before we get started, I want you guys to subscribe, click that notification bell, and click on the like or dislike button for this video. Today, let's address the first console that established the PlayStation name into the limelight, the PlayStation. Before we get into the games that drove the PlayStation into superstardom, let us sit in place and concentrate as we rewind back to the 1994-1995 season for an epic montage. Roll it.
$2.99.
The PlayStation 1, or PS1, was shown off at the first E3 in 1995, initially called the Electronic Entertainment Expo, which developers, publishers, and hardware manufacturers gathered together to display new upcoming games or game hardware merchandise. Even though the PlayStation 1 released in Japan a year earlier in December 1994, Sony Computer Entertainment decided to hold the press conference for the PlayStation 1 earlier on around May 11th through the 13th, 1995 in E3, and released the console in the United States later on around September 9th, 1995. Along with the PlayStation 1, there was the Sega Saturn that released and beat the sales of the PlayStation 1 with 500,000 units compared to the PlayStation with 300,000 units in Japan. At E3, during the press conference for the PlayStation, Olaf Olafsson, head of Sony Computer Entertainment of America at the time, got the head of development for the console, Steve Race, up to the stage and said the PlayStation's debut price was $299.
$299.
People were astounded and were excited for the console's release. Also, fun fact, that Sony conference gave a surprise appearance of Michael Jackson for him to show off many of the games that came with the PlayStation 1 too. The PlayStation console sold over 102 million units throughout its lifespan, ahead of the Sega Saturn, to which sold only 9.26 million units that debuted on May 11th, 1995, and did not get off the ground and fell short due to poor sales and was discontinued in 1998. Around the mid to late 90s, another console from Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, debuted in late 1996 that rivaled PlayStation and Sega, sold about 32.93 million units during its entire lifespan, competing against PlayStation and Sega with using 3D graphics as the main focal point with games such as Mario Kart 64, Doom, Banjo-Kazooie, Super Mario 64, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Mario Party, Gex 64, GoldenEye 007, Donkey Kong 64, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Rocket Robot on Wheels, and Pokemon Stadium. The PlayStation was unique in a way that it used CD technology rather than cartridges like the Nintendo 64 and Sega Saturn, which were obsolete and were about to be retired when the 2000s rolled around. During the PlayStation 1 era, with compact discs and 3D polygon experimentation, it sold over 7 million units worldwide by late 1996, with over 200 games available. As the PlayStation got off to a spectacular start, much of the advertising for it was very expressive and portrayed the PlayStation as the new innovative hardware that will revolutionize the video game industry and change gaming like it was at the time and into the future.
If you're looking for the fastest racers on Earth, this is where you'll find them. Ridge Racer Revolution, powered by Namco.
They say there's no reason to be afraid of the dark, but when the lights go out, the nightmares come out to steal my dreams. But with 40 winks, I can turn into a ninja, or transform into a huge monster, or even a super cool robot. I've got the power to conquer my nightmares and rescue my dreams. 40 winks on PlayStation Game Console.
Are we enjoying ourselves today, folks?
Well, if drinking white wine out of a 4-ounce glass is your idea of enjoyment, see, it's white wine in a 3-ounce glass, red in a 4.
Hey, you with the goatee. 2 words for you, pal. Light and, Frenchie, I need an extension cord and some buffalo wings. Go. Au revoir. Raising the roof with the coot. How you doing? Who's bored? Raise your hand. Anybody? Look who's happy now.
PlayStation.
The PS1 was also one of the first consoles to play video games and was a CD music player. It was a one-of-a-kind console that had a controller with analog sticks and 4 buttons consisting of triangle, square, X, and circle with different functions. The triangle to control the viewpoint, the square refers to opening up the menu, while the X and circle buttons refer to mostly the game's actions like jump, attack, dodge, or activate a special action. Also, the analog sticks were meant for the player to have movement of the thumbs to be more comfortable and have more efficient gameplay on the TV screen. The controller also has the start and select buttons in the middle, 2 shoulder buttons on each side, and the D-pad, which contains the 4 directional buttons. As with the console, it has the main compartment that contains the disc, the open button to open the disc compartment lid, the reset button, the power button, and 2 plug-in controller slots with a controller plug-in and a memory plug-in on each side. The original design for the launch title cases for the PS1, they were very tall and bulky, containing the disc on the right and the instruction manual on the left. This design only lasted a year, and Sony moved to a dual CD case that's more sleeker and smaller to save costs. Before we get into many of the games that came out on the PlayStation, we need to talk about the console launch titles. The first game to get released on the console in the US was Battle Arena Toshinden. Then the games that followed after it was Rayman, Ridge Racer, Wipeout, which was only released in Europe, NBA Jam Tournament Edition, Zero Divide, Air Combat, Power Surf 3D Tennis, and Street Fighter the Movie in 1995. Up until this point, you could clearly see that the PlayStation 1 had a long-lasting impact on the video game industry as a whole. It resulted in many classic games that were developed by different kinds of studios that were just getting into using 3D polygon technology in its infancy. So, let's go over some of those games, shall we? Crash Bandicoot, one of its titles, is an iconic linear platformer that was developed by Naughty Dog. Yeah, that Naughty Dog. He's one of PlayStation's famous mascots to represent the console's brand. I did not grow up with him when he was popular, but I did have the PS2 game, Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, that introduced me to him. The game spawned sequels, a remaster, merchandise, wacky commercials, and also spin-offs including Crash Team Racing, Crash Bash, Crash Nitro Kart, and a large fan base. With Crash Team Rumble already released, we'll have to see what they have planned for Crash in the future. Resident Evil is another franchise made by Capcom that implemented the survival horror to the video gaming space that involves a military group of characters finding out the mystery behind the virus outbreak by investigating a mansion filled with infected creatures. The game keeps you on your toes and tests your wits on how you can solve different puzzles and keeping track of your inventory to make sure you're well armed and capable of taking down swarms of enemies. This franchise has spawned many sequels so far, even remastered titles, updated remastered titles in the future, and we'll eventually get a 9th sequel, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. Tomb Raider made a landmark in the action-adventure genre of video games, as it was the first of its kind in the 3D space, and was one of the pioneers of 3D gaming. It was developed by Core Design, and experimented with creating a full 3-dimensional environment to run around, jump, shoot, and climb by using simple shapes as the building blocks for the mountains and tombs. It spawned a trilogy of games that did well financially in sales, and had a reboot in 2013. Which did not do that well compared to the previous trilogy of games. While the future of this franchise is uncertain, hopefully it can make a comeback one day. Gran Turismo is another franchise that made PlayStation a household name. It is a car racing simulator developed by Japanese studio Palace Entertainment and released in 1997, to which the PlayStation 1 was still going strong. The game is very simple to understand in that you just race cars and race through different tracks of your choice throughout all of it, but hooked everyone in through recognizable brands of cars during that time, different tracks, and a simulation mode to get better for championships. This game has spawned about several sequels and an added plus with a movie tied to it, so we'll see what the future holds for Gran Turismo later on. One of the last franchises that I will go into brief detail about is Final Fantasy VII, which is one of the most recognizable releases from this era. Final Fantasy VII is a Japanese RPG, or role-playing game, developed by Square, now Square Enix, was what inspired other RPGs in the future. It is about a guy named Cloud that tries to stop an evil corporation that's run by the antagonists named Sephiroth, Genova, and Rufus Shinra with his allies. It is kind of a dated game now, but there are fans still out there that like the turn-based gameplay. It got improved upon with multiple sequels and a remake that enhances the graphics and the gameplay. This game came out back in 1997 and is one of the most popular game franchises to this very day from Square Enix. There are many other games that came out on the PS1 during that era, but if I explained every video game's details, we'd be here all day. So I'm going to list the rest of them from release years in chronological order. Get your eyeballs ready, cause it's gonna get hairy. We got Ridge Racer, Ace Combat, Tekken 2, Wipeout XL, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Ray Storm, Ridge Racer Revolution, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Ace Combat 2, Bushido Blade, Suikoden, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Parappa the Rapper, Colony Wars, Monster Rancher, Alundra, Grand Theft Auto, Runabout Felony Dash 79, Dead or Alive, Tekken 3, Ironhander, Elemental Gearbolt, Thunder Force 5, Parasite Eve, Xenogears, Metal Gear Solid, Oddworld, Abe's Exodus, Heart of Darkness, Brave Fencer Musashi, Siphon Filter, Tench Stealth Assassins, Spyro the Dragon, Silent Hill, Need for Speed 1, 2, and 3 along with the spin-offs High Stakes and Porsche Unleashed, Breath of Fire 3, Buster Groove 1, and also Buster Groove 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Ridge Racer Type 4, Lunar Silver Star Story Complete, Star Ocean The Second Story, Ape Escape, Driver, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, Wipeout 3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Suikoden 2, Grandia, Grand Theft Auto 2, Medal of Honor, Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within, Toy Story 2, Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue, Dino Crisis, Silhouette Mirage, Hydro Thunder,
Time extended.
Army Men, World War, Spyro the Dragon, Ripto's Rage, Roadsters, Runabout 2, Digimon World, ISS Pro Evolution,
Some quick passing.
The Legend of Dragoon, Star Trek Invasion, Mortal Kombat Special Forces, X-Men Mutant Academy, Pro Pinball Fantastic Journey, Action Bass, Jeremy McGrath Supercross 2000, Surf Riders, Tench 2 Birth of the Stealth Assassins, Chrono Cross, RC Revenge, ECW Anarchy Rules, NCAA Game Breaker 2001, Countdown Vampires, Snowcross Championship Racing, Maiden NFL 2001,
Maynard,
ATV Quad Power Racing, Polaris Snowcross, Disney's Dinosaur, Valkyrie Profile, Spider-Man, Hogs of War, NHL Face Off 2001, Animorphs Shattered Reality, Danger Girl, World Destruction League Thunder Tanks, MTV Sports Skateboarding featuring Andy McDonald, Parasite Eve 2, NFL Blitz 2001, Bomberman Party Edition, ESPN MLS Game Night,
Metro Stars,
The team.
NASCAR 2001. Duke Nukem, Land of the Babes. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Breakout. Vampire Hunter D. Buzz Lightyear of Space Command. NHL 2001. Destruction Derby Raw. Dave Miria Freestyle BMX.
Okay,
Jeopardy! 2nd Edition.
South American countries.
Dino Crisis 2. F1 Championship Season 2000. MTV Sports Pure Ride. Jarrett and Levant Stock Car Racing. Alien Resurrection. NBA Live 2001. Dragon Valor. Medal of Honor Underground. Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon. Mike Tyson Boxing. Gundam Battle Assault. NASCAR Heat. Incredible Crisis. 007 The World Is Not Enough. Disney's 102 Dalmatians Puppies to the Rescue. Star Wars Demolition. NCAA Final Four 2001. Disney's Emperor's New Groove. Looney Tunes Racing. Ultimate Fighting Championship. Tiger Woods PGA Tour Golf. Chicken Run. Power Spike Pro Beach Volleyball. FIFA 2001 Major League Soccer. Disney's Donald Going Quackers. Torneco The Last Hope. 007 Racing. Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. WWF SmackDown. WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. Supercross. Harvest Moon Back to Nature. Blade. Bugs Bunny and Taz Time Busters. Breath of Fire 4. The Mummy. Championship Surfer. Colin McRae Rally 2.0. NCAA March Madness 2001. Razor Freestyle Scooter. Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete. Golden Glory The Road to El Dorado. Disney's The Lion King Simba's Mighty Adventure. Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. Darkstone. Mega Man X5. Vanishing Point. NBA Hoops. Toy Story Racer. Ford Racing. Triple Play Baseball. Dance Dance Revolution. Maiden NFL 2002. Sayuki Journey West. Looney Tunes Sheep Raider. Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. Dragon Quest 7 or Dragon Warrior 7, which it was known as in the US at the time. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Digimon Rumble Arena. Disney's Lilo and Stitch. MLB 2003. Disney's Treasure Planet. Inuyasha, A Feudal Fairy Tale. And Maiden NFL 2005. Additionally, I just want to highlight a few extra games that I didn't get to, and this includes but not limited to Beast Wars Transformers, Tomba 2, The Evil Swine Return, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Tales of Destiny, Typhoon, Wrath of the Tiger, Sydney 2000, Space Jam,
Super Genius Super
Skydiving Extreme, Soul Blade, Spawn the Eternal, Legend of Legaia, Samurai Showdown, Rugrats Search for Reptar, Nuclear Strike, Monkey Magic, Jet Moto, Jackie Chan Stunt Master, Fantastic Four, Blasto, Backyard Soccer, Ninja Shadow of Darkness, Rascal, and Rapid Racer. If there are any more games I did not mention, you can list some of them down in the comment section as your favorite that I missed. Basically, that is my full rundown on the original PlayStation that captivated audiences to the PlayStation in the first place. The last game that ever released on the PlayStation 1 before Sony stopped support for the console in 2006 was Strider Hurryu. At that time, Sony was focused on the development and producing games for the PS2 and was about to introduce the PS3 to the public. It doesn't really surprise me that it got discontinued due to outdated graphics and specs when they already had a console superior to the original PlayStation and had more advanced specs with the PlayStation 3 on the way. Also, in 2006, that's when YouTube made its debut to the internet where you could upload anything, and its motto used to be broadcast yourself. But they became so corporate now to where they restrict you from talking about certain things to appease their mega corporate overlords. But let's get back on track. The point is that the original PlayStation captured and encapsulated many 90s and early 2000s kids that played it and revolutionized how game development is accomplished today. I did not play the original PlayStation 1 growing up, but I still have a few games from the PlayStation 1 that one of my relatives owned, and it's quite the unique collection. With all that said, the foundation of the PlayStation 1 was great for the start of Sony's gaming brand, but let's transition toward the best-selling console in the PlayStation lineup, the PlayStation 2.